Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and man, I don't think that worked out the way I wanted it to. So this is my second trying to figure out the software and whatnot. But I'm coming to you guys live, and I'm excited to try to do a live knife review for you. And the knife tonight, or today, whatever time it is the Kershaw Barstow, which is a really cool dagger boot style knife. And it was a viewer request. So definitely looked it up, looked at the price. And for the price, I think at the time when I got it, it was like the audio is off. Am I lagging? Can you hear me now? Oh, well, I apologize for the unsyncing of my video. So hopefully just pretend like I'm in a kung fu movie or something. Uh, that being said, I don't know. I'm excited for this knife. It's pretty cool. Definitely a unique knife. Not really the style I go for. So I'll read over some specs and yeah, we'll get into it. So the overall length is 7 inches. The blade length is 3 inches. The handle length is 4 inches, and the handle thickness is 0.56 inches thick. The overall weight for this is 3.4 ounces. So it's actually pretty light. It definitely hits underneath that 3.5 ounce mark that I prefer. I know some people don't mind carrying over 4 ounces, but preferably I like to be below that 3.5 ounces, and if not below 3 ounces. As far as the blade shape, it's a spear point flat ground blade. It does have one designated cutting edge here with a false edge on the top, and it's to mimic a more dagger style knife or a double-edged knife. But even though it doesn't have that double edge, with that tapered tang to give it that look, it actually makes this knife super slicey. So it's pretty cool. Besides the sliciness of it, it has a really nice stylized blood groove down the center point of the blade. It is a stonewash or smoke wash finish that turns out pretty nice, and it's also repeated in the pocket clip. And yeah, on the show side, we have the Kershaw logo, Speed Safe logo. And then on the other side, we have the Kai model number and the 8CR13 MOV, which is, budget steel. It's a decent steel, and it's what you expect on Kershaw budget knives. So like I said, at the time, I got this for like $25. I believe that's the current price is somewhere between $20 and $25. So definitely budget friendly and definitely a good knife for someone who just wants a slicier knife. The other thing I really like with it is the overall tapered design of it. It tapers from the point down or from the handle to the point, and it winds out at the handle, which really fills the hand pretty well. The blade tang actually creates the hilt or the guard on the knife. And when you fold it, that actually is the flipper tab. There is some jimping on the end of the knife here, if the camera will focus. But if not, there is some jimping on the ends there. But on top, where you're actually going to put your finger, it's smooth, so you don't really have that. But because of the curve of the flipper tab, it locks in, and this is definitely one of the fastest flipping Kershaws I've ever owned. So it really jets out of there. The other thing you'd probably like to know is that it does have bronze phosphorus washers in there, and that really helps it jet out, which is really cool. The handles are a GFN, glass-filled nylon, and they have a pretty cool looking diamond crossed pattern with some cloth texture onto it, which does add enough grip. The handle scales are also contoured enough where they're rounded to make it a little bit more comfortable and not feel as boxy. On the one side, there is a gap to allow you to get access to the very slim liner lock there, and the liner lock itself does have some jimping on it to add with some grip for disengaging the lock. All the hardware is black besides the actual accents that are in the tang of the knife, as well as the barrel spacers on the back are blue anodized. The liners are also black washed, as well as the pocket clip. And then it looks like it's a tip up left or right side carry. I do really love this pocket knife or the pocket clip. I will say this is definitely a good sign for Kershaw. I'm not sure if they have this pocket clip on any other models, but I can tell you right now, it is awesome. It's very stout, short, but wide and robust. And I'll give you a quick look at it in the pocket here. So it fits in the pocket really well, and it just holds it in there and sits really deep. But then you also don't have this super long pocket clip, so it's still pretty short. Really like this clip, and maybe at some point I'll try actually putting this clip on some other knives and see if it fits, but definitely going in the right direction with that one. Are you double-edged knives practical for making a shelter? Quadro, no, I wouldn't say they're great, but obviously any knife in a survival situation is necessary. But a double-edged knife was more or less designed for like stabbing and cutting and killing. It's just like a sword. So, but yeah, so there's that. I'm going to do some comparisons. Because I'm doing this live, I have to kind of hold the knives here. So we have the Spyderco Delica 4, a little bit longer, blade wise, it's about the same. The Delica is definitely lighter in weight. We have the Kershaw Skyline, just a titch longer in handle and blade length. Weight wise, the Barstow still slightly heavier. Pocket clip wise, you can see the pocket clip. Benchmade bug out. Great knife. Definitely the most similar in size. Obviously, the weight's going to be a lot different with the bug out, but you can see the pocket clip similarities. I don't know who's copying who, but I like it, and I hope that more pocket clips turn out like this because I really do like these pocket clips. Obviously, they're slightly different. There's definitely differences, but I guess they're thinking on the same lines, and I agree. I like it. Cool, thanks. I know what I want for Christmas. Oh, excellent. This? Really? I don't know. As far as survival, I would not really consider this a survival knife, but it would work, and it's definitely more of a tactical defensive knife. And then last but not least, I do have this guy. So we'll compare it to that. Like I said, with those bronze phosphorus washers, flips right out. Just super awesome. Thickness wise, the blade's a lot thicker on the Pilar. So cool knives. Oh, last test. I know it's your favorite. Or most people's favorite. And that is the ugly brown glove test. Doesn't look terribly brown in this light. As far as grip, there is no jimping up top, but because it has that guard, your thumb actually locks in there pretty well, and your forefinger, pointer finger won't slip up either, which is good. So you have that protection. Other than that, it is designed well enough that I can get access to the liner lock to deploy the lock, and the flips out really well. Though I wish there was a little bit of jimping up top here because the cloth glove is kind of slipping off. But if you press into that groove, it just launches out. Texture-wise on the actual handle, there is enough texture to add some grip, a decent amount of grip, though at times, once you get on the edges, it does feel a little bit more slippery. And yeah, but other than that, it feels good in hand, and it is deployable, and it's pretty rock solid. I just feel the scales could have been a little bit more grippy. So does it pass? Yes. What do you think it passed with? I'm going to say a B. I'll give it a B in the ugly brown glove test. So there you have it, guys. Definitely recommend this knife for the viewer that recommended me check this knife out. Thank you. For $25 for this style of knife, you'd give it a C? Yeah, I'm pretty solid with the B. I do like it for the B. The one thing I would say, though, is that the fit and finish, I know the camera's probably not going to pick it up, but the fit and finish where these blue tubes fit into the tang of the knife, there's a gap on the one side. And, it doesn't affect the function of the knife, but just aesthetically looking at it, it kind of bugs me. And usually I'm not that picky about that type of thing. So just having that gap there, I don't know what went wrong, but it doesn't keep it. I mean, it doesn't look that clean. But other than that one blemish and having that gap, the rest of it actually looks pretty good as far as fit and finish. The scales line up with the liners, and centering is on point. So other than that, it's really good. Feels rock solid, and a great little EDC knife. All right, so there you have it. Let's see what's the questions. How can a thicker blade change its performance? I don't know what you mean exactly by having a thicker blade, but usually the thinner the blade, the more slicey it's going to be. A thicker blade, obviously more robust. And when it comes to survival situations, one of the most common survival tasks is splitting or batoning wood. And normally when you baton wood, you use a tool known as a froe. And those are usually a thick, long bladed machete type thing, more similar to something like the Jaros Chapa, but usually it's more blunt or a sheep's foot or a cleaver looking thing, but it's more or less long and straight. It has a good thick spine to hit your wood on, and it'll split through. If it's a thinner blade, you're going to have a tendency for when you strike it for it to either turn one way or the other. And it just makes the knife more brittle. But that being said, having a high saber grind. So as you can see, we have the flat here, and then the flat grind that comes up to this. The higher this flat is, the more slicey it'll be, because and then if you have a false edge on the back, once the material gets up here, it'll catch on this and flatten out, and it creates more friction. But by having it taper down into a false edge, it'll get over this hump in the blade right here, and then there won't be any drag as it passes through whatever material it's going through. So a lot of like slicey knives, they don't have that drag because of that. Now it does have that blood groove in there, and I will say that when I was cutting something with it, debris, like I think I was cutting some sort of food, and it got gunked up in there. So I don't necessarily know what the purpose of a blood groove is, but whatever material, liquid or goop that you're cutting through, it will collect in there. So it'll be a spot you'll have to clean out. So yeah, any other questions? Other than that, guys, hopefully you like the quality of the video. I did invest in a webcam rather than using just the webcam installed in the laptop. And yeah, I hope the quality is better. Hopefully the sound is okay. And other than that, I hope to do at least one live stream a month. And if I can figure out this whole setup and do it the right way, hopefully the quality gets better. Other than that, we'll try to keep it short. It's already 15 minutes. So thank you very much, guys. What does your shirt say? And the quality is much better. Thank you, Quadro. I'm starting to think you're my biggest fan, and I appreciate that. But other than that, it's an AFSA shirt. It's the place of my employment. And I don't know what it says. Can't read it. Magnify your impact. So make a difference. Be kind. Be nice. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll probably do a Thanksgiving video too. Also, please comment with any other like live stream ideas and any other helpful criticisms on like what you want me to improve on in the channel, what you'd like to see more of. I know I've done a variety of different gear, food, skills videos. So just if you have any requests, let me know. Definitely appreciate it. Other than that, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you outside. So thank you. Get outside. The weather's nice here in Minnesota. And talk to you later.